Struggling with your dog's behaviour? Here's the best way to improve your dog's behaviour without actually having to do any more than you're currently doing now. So you're probably thinking, oh, well, how do I improve my dog's behaviour if I'm not going to be doing anything else on top of what I'm currently doing? Well, we're going to do structured walks. So what I mean by that is most people think about going for a walk, they'll put their dog on the lead or they'll drive somewhere, let their dog out, and they'll just go nuts for an hour, throwing the ball back and forth, no stimulation, no training, no nothing, literally just an hour of them just running around crazy, not having to actually think about anything at all. So what you're going to do instead is you're going to make a list of maybe 3 things that you'd really like to work on with your dog. So I can guarantee most people will have loose lead walking at the top. Secondly, they're going to have probably recall. And then thirdly, they're probably going to say reacting to other dogs or people. Not necessarily in that order though. So with that in mind, we've got our 3 things down. All we want to do from here is then structure our walk so that we spend an individual time on each of those things. So if you're really struggling with your loose lead walking, spend the first 10 minutes of each walk dedicated to loose lead walk training. After that 10 minutes, remember our dogs are not robots. They need breaks, they need to reset. So give them at least 5 minutes where they can just chill. After that, if you want to work on some recall, you can then set up a recall drill, go through the recall, maybe 10 minutes max will be perfect for the dog. Just if you do too much, they A, end up getting bored, and B, if you start doing it too much and you get loads of failed reps, then you're just going to be on a path to disaster. Again, once you've done your recall, you then spend 5 minutes, just let them chill before then moving on to the third thing, which in this case would be reactivity. So then we're trying to just neutralize the dog to other dogs or whatever their trigger is. And again, spending about 10 minutes on this. Then if you've got some extra time, you can then spend that on a little bit more loose lead walking. But the key here is not to cram in too much over the session. There is such thing as overkill with dog training. And if you do too much, it's going to be too much for the dog to take in. They're going to be overstimulated and then it's going to be quite counterproductive. If you change your approach to your walks in this way, you'll actually find that when your dog goes home, that they'll sleep a lot more because they've been mentally stimulated. And over time, your dog will behave so much better because you're getting the practice and the reps in on areas that you need to work on, because it's so easy to avoid these things when it's unenjoyable. So if your dog constantly pulls you down the street, you then don't want to take them on the lead. But the way that we actually tackle that is by doing more loose lead walking, but of high quality. So again, only spending short periods of time of high quality loose lead walking, break, and then move on to something else. But we need to get out of the mindset of just going for a walk. That's fine if you want to go for a walk with a friend, something where you're doing a bit of a social thing, you're allowing your dog to kind of walk with you. Or if you're going for a hike and you're taking your dog with you, that's fine. But from day to day, we need to be spending most of the time on training. And instead of taking your dog out for a walk and then training, why not make your walk your training session? So an example with me, with my dogs, I'll drive somewhere nice and quiet to start with. We'll then do 10 to 15 minutes of loose lead walking and just sitting, doing nothing, so that they get used to being able to just sit and do nothing and not have to have a job. I'll then give them 5 minutes where they either go back in the car or let them just have a little sniff around, go to the toilet, do what they want. I'll then spend 10, 15 minutes just going through basic obedience stuff. So stop command, sit, stay, off lead, heel walking, recall. Then again, we'll have another 5-minute break where they either go back in the car or have a little sniff around. We'll then do another 10, 15 minutes of gun dog specific work. So whether it's retrieval or hunting work, but again, just nice high quality reps, stopping before it gets boring and always ending on a good rep. After that, again, another 5-minute break and then ending on another 10 minutes of loose lead walking. And then they go straight back in the car, go home, and then they'll sleep for a few hours. And then later on, might take them out again just for 15 minutes loose lead walking, and that's them for the day, and they'll sleep all night.